Well, we're getting crazy people who like crypto and trading and all that interwebby stuff. Now, I'm going to show you is Eazybot. I've done one on this before, but I just thought I'd show you a bit more on kind of what I do. So these are two. I've only got two bots on it now. I'm going to get some more because, to be honest, I love this so much. But just ignore what these are at the minute because I've opened and closed different ones and took profits and everything. So I'm actually had any running for a long time. Even these one, the Dogecoin, I've kept shutting these down and opening and shutting them. Just playing around with different methods, what I do, different ideas. So I'm just going to show you this one. This one's just one to buy, what I used to buy Dogecoin when it drops at different prices, just get kind of a bargain. But I'm going to show you this one, just get an idea to a trading one, what I do. I mean, at a minute, it's made like total profits 38, just over $38. It's not been running long, to be honest. It's only small trades. I've just done it. I'll have a balance of 400. Yeah, I'm supposed to do 600. Same as this one's only 100. But you can, there's a way of doing it if you're doing a certain method. So yeah, I'll just run you on this one in a minute. So I'll click on this. So I'll just get an idea out of it. It has recently sold one, just a small trade there at 15. It bought in at 0.0587, $14 worth, and then it sold at that. So you just made a small profit on about. But you can do these quite regular. These are all the others what I've been running, what I've closed down, what I told you about. There's loads. So this here, if you look at this is what you have to be careful of. Invalid API key or permission fraction. What that is, it's when you set it up a certain way on Binance, it lets the API key work for about 3 months, and then you have to renew it again. It's just a click of a button. That's it. It's 2 minutes. It's just for your own safety. That's all it is. It's just so if there's, you know what I mean, if there was anything like you weren't trading anymore, anything like that, if you'd forgot about it, you weren't going to go and carry on trading for you. So it's just to protect you. That's all. It's just a click of a button to start it again, and it's every 3 months. And again, there is ways where you can override that. But I'll just base it on this for now to show you. So ignore that one because that's a sale. What I'm looking at is these. So there's different ways you can do it. You can do it to buy and then sell when it goes up 1.5%. But what I like to do on the first few, I actually did it on all these at one point, is combine them all together. So what you do, I'll give you a rough idea. Just let me show you this. So on your settings for your bot, when you're doing it, you come down here, you've got your cover. Well, whatever you click your cover on, if you look, it's on 3. So say I set it on, let me just go back to what we're on. Just give me 1 second. Right, so set it to cover 6, which you can see there, because it bought to cover 6. You can do this when it starts, before it starts buying them. But you can change it halfway through while you're doing it if you want. That's what I love about it. It's so easy. So I change that to cover 6. If you look, when I move down now, all the up to 6 will be highlighted. Before it was just the 3, now 6. So what it means is basically after cover 6, you'll take 2% profit. Retracement is 0.5. So it'll go past, it'll wait while it's got 2% profit. It'll wait for a retrace. Otherwise, it'll just carry on going up. I've done another video on that works. This one's just purely to show you a different method where I do. So I'll put a link in for the video what explains all that. But what I'll basically in a minute is how many covers and how it works. So what happens if I set this to 6 covers, instead of this initial one here, when it buys in at this one, so I'll go back to, let's just go back, see if let me go back. That's it. Right, so these are the covers, 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, these are where it's bought in. So every time it dropped by a certain amount, it bought in again, dropped by a certain amount, bought in again. Now what would normally happen is on this first one, it buys in initially, this is your initial buy, it buys this straight away. At this price it did it, 0.071. At minute Dogecoin in near that at all. But that's fine because I had some trades before this were closed up, so I'm just showing you this as an example. And then as it come down, I think I got it set to, oh yeah, 2.5%. So when it drops down 2.5%, it'll do another buy again, which it did. $14 worth. And this how much it bought at this price, at this price where it were as it dropped down. And then again, because there was quite a big drop on Dogecoin because of Bitcoin, dropped another 3%, so it bought in again, 2.5%, and so on until it got all the way down to this area where it did this. Ignore these because I've set these up different. So what had happened is, normally when it's bought this initial buy, and then it probably say it drops another 2.5%, it comes to in it buy this one. If the price goes back up again, as it gets to 2%, it'd wait to do a sell to see if it can get any more. And then if it comes down, retraces by about 0.5%, it'll do a sell. And then that one's done. And same would happen with this one. If this one went from it buying at this price, if this went up by about 2.5% again or 2%, it'd do again, it'd sell, that kind of thing. And that's how it works normally. Now, if you combine them all, and that's what I've just shown you, so let's go back onto that. It might sound a bit confusing, so you might need to watch this a couple of times. So again, this is those covers. I'll put it on 6 because I didn't save it on that one because I wanted to show you. So that's the one I've just shown you. So it'll start off at the initial one. If it drops by 3%, it'll buy again. If it drops again there, and so on and so on. But what this does as well is it combines them together. So as this one drops down 3%, it'll add these two buys together. I'll show you how that works in a bit. And then it goes up, and same again. So if it was like that, if it was to come all the way down here, to combine all these together, and then it hasn't got to go up as far. So I'll show you how that works. So this is, let me go back on that again. So we're talking about this area here, these buys, where it's done, which is these on here, right? So say it don't go back up, I've got all these combined. So at the moment it's come right down here. So like I said, normally it'd be buying and selling, but if I've got all these separate and not combine them like I've just shown you, where I've covered them all together, when we get down to here, this would have to go up like the 2% before it'd sell, same as this. So to get this one sold, this price would have to come all the way back up to here, before it would sell this one. So these have got to come up past these points. But when you combine them all together, when you combine these all together, like I said, let me go back on this. So if we take that off all together, like I say, if these were separate, this first one, like I've just shown you, which would be this one, because it's just kind of tanked, as you said, it's come all the way down here, it's going to take a long time to get back to this one to sell it. So if we do this, and we combine all these together, then what it does is it adds all these up and it gives you an average. So all these added up together are an average of 0.658. Now on that, I want 2% profit, which would be that. Which means it can now sell at 0.67 to get your profit on all this money. So it hasn't got to come all the way back up to here. It's only got to go to about this area, around here. So it's combining all these together as one trade. It stacks them all up together. And instead of classing them as separate, it stacks them all up together, and then it'll sell them for a profit when it gets to that price around about here. So how good's that? So it hasn't got to, so obviously, if the market keeps crashing, you've got it to keep doing little buys. It doesn't really matter because it gets down here. It's still going to combine all these together, and it's probably only got to come to here. So it hasn't got to come as far up, if that makes sense. So I find it more worthwhile to do this. And you can change this at any time. You can change this at any time. I've took it off. That's why some of those have sold. already because I took it off for a bit. So let me show you. So originally I had all these set up for that, and the market didn't seem to be moving much. So I went back on my settings and I took them off and just moved them a bit further up and left these to play around on their own, which is why this one's sold here. This is why this didn't combine into, originally it were all combined into this, but I decided to pull it out separate so it could sell these little ones down here out of way, and then I've just set it back up again. So I want that don't sound too confusing. I tend to talk to people like I think you understand what I understand, but I think if you watch this video a couple of times, it will kind of make some sense. But I'll try and do a clearer one. I was just trading at the moment. I thought I'd do a little video on it, try and explain how it works. So basically, like I said, on your settings, you can have it to, go on these cover, you can have it to set just on initially, and then it'll just buy and sell all the time. So it'll do an initial one, which is take profit at 1.5%. I'll actually change that to 2, to be honest. So it'll put an initial buy in first, and this is where it'll be buying at first one, unless I change it. Do an initial buy, and then if it goes up by 2%, it'll wait to sell. It'll wait for retracement. The reason it waits for retracement is if it goes past 2, it'll get you more profit. So it waits, and then when market turns and starts to come back down, it'll wait while it retraces by 0.5%, and then it'll do that sell. So it tries to get you a little bit more. If it only goes to 2% and then starts to come back down, it'll not let it go further than 1.5, and it'll get you that profit. That's how it works. So like I said, we are putting this cover on, then it'll keep doing it at these percentages. So it'll say it drops past that, it'll do its first cover, and then it'll sell this cover at 2.5%, but then it has to come back up again for initial one before it make a profit on that. And same again, if it carries on coming down, if there's a big crash on market and it gets cover 2 has to go up a little bit before it will sell out, and then cover 1 still got to go up again before it will sell out, and your initial one's still got to go up even further, which is why I like to combine them together. So like I say, if I combine them together like that, then if the market crashes all the way down here, you aren't going to wait to get back up to this one again in bits like that, because it'll just combine them all together and it ain't got to come up as far. So like I say, if it comes all the way down here, it only has to come to like here to sell out for a profit, because it combines them all, rather than having to run one by one all the way up and getting back up here again. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So I hope that makes some kind of sense. Message me in the message box, and if you want a bit more information on it, I'll try and explain it a bit easier. So hopefully that's made some kind of clarity. So I'll speak to you later, guys.